Is this thing on?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Voice Podcast, a podcast for students by students. Today I'm here with Bryan and Tiffany, and we're just going to kind of talk about some stuff that we think are overall ideas on the whole semester being online, and since it's coming to an end. So,
Yeah,
how are you guys?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. It's snowing.
Yeah,
Yes.
it looks beautiful out there, but I also unfortunately have only done 2 of my 4-winter tires for some reason, so it's gonna be a little bit interesting driving. Yeah, I know. Well, one went flat on me, and I was like driving to work, so I was like, okay, I guess that's not happening. So I had to cab to work, which kind of sucks, but whatever. So I got my dad to bring over one of my tires, so I did that one and another one, and I've kind of been waiting for a good day. And you know, the schedule is like the weather report this week was supposed to be nice today. No. So here we are, 2 out of 4 tires good, and we'll see what happens.
Maybe don't go anywhere today.
Yeah, no, honestly, with work, I'm so behind right now in schoolwork that I'm so fine with just a day inside, some hot chocolate, some coffee, and so much accounting homework.
The
workload's getting hard now, getting large.
Getting real, eh? How you doing, Emily?
I'm pretty good. It, like everyone, the exams and luckily my program doesn't have exams, which I suck at taking tests, so I'm really happy about that. But a lot of projects and a lot of final projects that are like 15-page final marketing plans and all that. So just working on those. I'm almost done most of them. I just have a couple more like things to do on them. So I'm getting up there, I guess.
15-page marketing projects. That sounds, honestly, to me, that sounds fun, but I'm a bit of a business nerd, so it's, whatever.
It is fun. Like one of the projects I'm doing, I'm creating my own like Shopify website. So it's pretty cool. It's like something that I really like doing, like the design aspects of it. So I enjoy what I'm doing, and like I know a lot about it, 'cause, like my sister's company that she's making. So that's nice when you don't have to do like a lot of research. So
cool.
I'm gonna be honest, your homework sounds intimidating to me, so I'm just going to stick to my pre-health over here.
Oh God. Do you have a lot of tests?
Yeah, we do have a lot of tests because we can't have like midterms and proper exams this year because everything's virtual. We have a lot more tests and assignments to make up the difference. So it feels like every week I have at least 1 test, usually 2. So, but it's good though. Like things are going pretty smoothly. I wasn't sure with it all being virtual how well that was going to work out, but actually really enjoying it. But yeah, the work is starting to really pile on pretty heavy now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel that. And how are they doing the test with you guys? Like, are they allowing it to be open book, or are they kind of hoping that you guys aren't going to do that, or how's that been working for you?
I think it's kind of a trust exercise. They're hoping we're not doing it open book, but it's hard to proctor. Our math teacher uses Respondus, the lockdown browser, so you can't have other stuff open. Which is, it's interesting. All the professors do it a little bit differently. But yeah, with Respondus, it's a randomized test out of a bunch of questions. So no 2 tests are the same. And then it doesn't allow you to have any apps running in the background. Like you can't have Teams open. You can't have, Discord open. You can't have anything helpful open other than that within the browser. So, I mean, that I think helps a little bit with honesty, but everybody's got to practice academic honesty, I think, and I think this is a really good test for some people.
Yeah.
The test within the test.
Yes, the test within the test, exactly.
How about you, Emily? How's it been doing your program? Like you said, it's more projects?
Yeah, it's more projects. So I have 4 final projects, all of them which are like 10-page plans that I have to create. It's intimidating when you first look at it, because you're like, oh my God, like I'm not going to be able to write 10 pages. But then when you start going at it and breaking it up into like the sections that they want, it's like, oh, this isn't that bad. Like one of my projects, I'm already on like 9 pages and I still have like only 3 more things to do. And I was like, oh, I met that requirement pretty easily. But yeah, I'm running a virtual trade show on Thursday. So
really?
That's one of my program. Yeah, we're doing I have an events program, so like event marketing and stuff. And usually we have an in-person trade show where we choose charities and stuff, but COVID. So our teacher was like, make it online. It's cool because it's a learning curve for everyone, even people who aren't in school, who are like professionals in the field, that they have to try and transition stuff to online. So it's a cool learning curve to be able to be like, okay, like I already have this kind of like problem solving thinking. And doing that. But yeah, that's been a lot of the work, creating social media posts and all of that and getting that ready. But I'm excited. I'm also excited for it to be over on the 26th, because then I don't have to worry about it anymore.
That's really cool. That's really neat.
Yeah, it is.
I like that you guys have that.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Brian? Do you have a lot of tests?
So yeah, the way they've done it with ours is because again, I'm in school for accounting, which means that a lot of it is going to be kind of like math based and problem based. So what they've done is they haven't as many tests, but we have a lot of weekly little homework assignment things, and basically those are like you have to multiple choice tests or kind of like fill out sheets for doing kind of order of operations for like accounting stuff. And with those, what it seems they've done is they've realized that we're going to kind of, we're going to use the resources available, which realistically, I kind of think makes more sense based on how the world works, right? Like, when are you going to ever be stuck in the middle of nowhere with no other resources? And here, show me everything you know about this subject matter. Okay. So what they've done is I think they've kind of scaled the difficulty up a little bit, and they've scaled the frequency of the work. So normally, you have a test every couple weeks, maybe a little quiz or something, and that's going to be most of your marks. For us, it's like every week for 3 or 4 of our classes, we have homework you have to do that's worth 4 or 5%. And so it's every week you have that. And then you also have some bigger things where you're working with groups. So they've kind of gotten rid of the testing per se with a lot of the courses, except for 1 or 2. And they've just given us more work to kind of consistently test how much we're retaining, which honestly, I kind of dig it. It works more with my style. It's so it's a lot of it's have you been keeping notes? Can you refer to previous work, and can you problem solve through something that you may not have seen before? But so it requires a little more comprehension rather than just kind of the parroting bullshit back, which again, I like it more personally, but I still miss people. I'm not gonna lie. I miss the school environment.
Agreed.
Yeah, right? For you, Tiffany, you're going to your first year. Have you been able to really kind of meet other students a little bit? Have you been able to make any relationships or anything like that? Or are you just kind of feeling like you're in a class of 1 right now? How does that feel?
It took a long time. Actually, I have made a couple of friends in the class, and we study online a lot together now, but it took a lot longer than it normally would. I'm really social. I'm a very social person. And so not being able to be with people was really hard for me at first. And I was like, how am I supposed to make friends like this? But yeah, I mean, now I've got a few people, but it was way different from normally when you meet up with a new group of people. So, I mean, I'm sure that the introverts are loving it, but us extroverted people are like, come on, give me some people.
But you say you've been doing some studying stuff online. How are you guys doing that? Over Teams or things like that, or what stuff?
Yeah, usually with Teams. Yeah. I'm a peer tutor for a few of the courses as well, and yeah, I find that just going on Teams seems to work the best for study groups. But sometimes we just, we chat on Discord or something and talk about stuff. But most of the time, if we're going to study, it's on Teams. And sometimes we even just sit in a circle quietly and then pipe up if we have questions about stuff. But it kind of keeps you accountable to just have somebody there watching you, just kind of studying at the same time.
This is the time you do work. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just hard at home.
Right. I know, it's just constantly having to track your own schedule and force stuff forward. Have you had a lot of group projects and stuff this year, Emily? Have you been able to kind of continue interacting with your classmates?
Yeah, we've had, I find my program is very group oriented. A lot of our final projects are in groups, because when we graduate, most likely you're going to be working with a team of people. You're not necessarily going to be working on your own on a project. And I love group work. So it has been difficult. But like you said to me, using Teams, we set up times. We're okay, for this hour and a half, we're all going to go online. We're just going to work. I think 3 out of my 5 classes is a group work thing, or maybe
Okay.
4 out of 5. One of them, we had a choice to work with 2 people or 1 person, but it was the website, and I just kind of wanted to do it on my own, which was kind of daunting because that's like the 15-page plan, and whenever I've done like a marketing plan or whatever, this one's an e-commerce plan, but it's always been with other people, so you've always been able to like divvy up the work. So I was really intimidated by it because I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this on my own. But then like here I am working away at it, and I'm like, holy crap, I've done all this work myself. Like, whoa. So it's kind of cool just to have like accomplishment being like, oh, I do know what I'm talking about. Like even if I had to do a couple Google searches to memorize what a positioning statement is and stuff, but I was still able to do it. So that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
I feel that.
Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting year, like a very different approach to education than we're used to. But, you know, I think for some people it's going to be really, it's been a not good change, but I think it really shows adaptability for a lot of us. You know, we're able to kind of adapt to the situation. And if you weren't adaptable before, you have to be now. So an extra lesson you weren't hoping for, but.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
One thing too is like with Canada, you know, I know a lot of our workforce, we're kind of transitioning away from like, and we continue to transition away from manufacturing jobs and things like that to more knowledge-based jobs. So a lot, you know, more jobs that require to have been to post-secondary, more jobs that require computer skills and things. So it's kind of giving us a better feel for what is this increasingly digital world, right? Like there's gonna be some serious ramifications that come from this COVID stuff, right? Like there's going to be less office time. You're going to have more of these digital workspaces and more use of Teams and more use of Zoom for business stuff. And like, there's already been a lot of companies that have said they're not going back to the office full time anymore. They're going to be incorporating more flex time and things. So for you know, careers like Emily and myself are going forward into, this is going to not necessarily be the all the time thing, but I think it's going to be a lot more than it would have been a year or 2 ago. And it's a process that was starting, but it's just going to keep it going. So,
yeah, it's massively accelerated changes to the business landscape for sure. Yeah, I think you're right, Brian. Like people aren't going to go back to paying that much for physical office space if they don't have to. And what probably would have taken 5 or 10 more years without COVID, it's just like, boop, we're in it now. Make it work.
Might as well do it now because we're stuck with it.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I think what would have been a slow transition is not a slow transition anymore. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing either, but you're right. Definitely, even after all this is over, everything's going to look a lot different.
for sure. And, you know, hopefully for the better in some things, you know, like getting cars off the road, etc. Those kind of things. It's may have given the planet a little bit of breathing room, gotten some people a little bit more used to like, you know, doing one shopping trip a week instead of 5 of them, like things like that. Hopefully could carry forward and give us a little bit of a good thing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I feel like the pandemic is just like, it's thrown us for a loop, but also like it's shown us new ways to be able to do things. Like, oh, virtual meetings now, like we don't have to go physically into the office. You spend less money on gas now because you only go to the grocery store once a week and you don't have to drive back and forth from work anymore. And you like learn to, I guess, to not budget, but like make your groceries last, so you use up more of your pantry so you don't have to go back out. Like I feel like there's like lots of little things that a lot of us are learning how to do, and I feel like that's just gonna like, it's just gonna adapt into the world. So maybe like pollution will go down, hopefully, for that reason. And there might be less car crashes because less people are out. So I think there's like definitely pros and cons to everything, but I think the pandemic is like, even though it sucks and I hate being inside and I just want to like go hang out with friends and stuff, I think it's a good thing to happen, even though people dying is not fun and it's not good. But I think it was a good time for something like this to happen so that we all take more quality time with our families and like that kind of stuff, in a world where everyone was going into like technology and it was like people always on their phones, people always like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's taught us a really interesting lesson too in like what we have that we don't need to have. Like, you know, going out for takeout COVID kind of stopped that for a good long time. It was like, wow, like it forced you to take a step back and realize how much you're doing or using that you don't need to be. And yeah, I mean, it's not fun not being able to go out for dinner, but maybe we could all stand to do it a little less. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's taught us really valuable lessons. Yeah, you're right, Emily. People dying, that sucks. 0 to 10 would not recommend. But you know, it has taught us some valuable lessons, I think.
I definitely feel that. Like I'm one of those people that I kind of use it as a way to kind of like, yeah, as I said, like kind of re-examine some things and change some things up. You know, like I was the first part of COVID. I was definitely like, you know, going more of the doing nothing and drinking route, and then I kind of ended up turning into more of a like, all right, I'm gonna work out and do those kinds of things and like cut down on my expenditure. So I'm one of the few people that have actually kind of maybe actually a little bit better financial position than I was before, because I cut my stupid spending out so much, like not going to bars anymore, obviously, because that's not really a thing right now. Like going to movies, you know, things like that. I was like, I'm just gonna sit inside and watch Netflix. It's a hell of a lot cheaper than going out. So
and safer.
Yeah. Significantly. Unless if you guys have seen that Queen's Gambit show, but man, that show is so good.
Is it good? I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's so good. I was like,
put it on
I was geeking out because I love chess. I'm by no means a professional player, but like I love playing chess. So I was like, oh, it's so cool.
Yeah. No, my girlfriend watched it, and I heard a bunch of people talking about it. I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. And I was like, oh, you're not gonna want to watch this game. She's like, yeah, I will. I'm like, yo, so we watched 6 or 5 episodes last night, and then I woke up this morning at 7 a.m. and banged a couple more episodes so I could do it before I wanted to start schoolwork at like 9:30. That's how good it was. So just saying, check it out, people.
Okay. Well, I'll take your word for it.
Planning your Netflix time.
Exactly. I've been watching The Mandalorian. Season 2 is out. Same. That's
look, there's a good up there.
Yep. Oh.
Yeah, that's it.
There.
Yeah.
So cute.
I crochet these baby Yodas, the little tiny guys, and I don't have a tree topper for my Christmas tree, so my brother's like, why don't we just put Yoda up there? So right now we have Yoda on top of our Christmas tree.
It. That's where he belongs.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Love it.
Oh my goodness.
Now you're gonna crochet a little Mandalorian somewhere to protect him? Because come on, he's out there by himself. He's gotta be protected.
I might just have to crochet a little Mando. We'll see.
Oh, amazing. Well, does anyone have any parting words before we go into break and everything?
No, I honestly, I think this winter's gonna be really tough on a lot of people. So I think kind of like, you know, getting back into some of those Teams and Zoom calls with friends and family is going to be really key. Because like, I did it at the beginning and kind of fell off as, you know, got nicer out and everyone's like, you know, used to doing more normal things. I don't think that's going to be a thing this winter. Like my family's already planning on like maybe having Christmas, but you know, even that's going to be a pretty, you know, different version. So I think just right now, find the joy you can, people, finish out the semester strong. And just, you know, find some good shows to watch for the winter because it's going to be a dark winter.
Yeah, same really. Just like, you know, push hard now, finish your classes, and then take the winter to just be kind to yourself. Just do what makes you happy. Take a breather, relax, and then start semester 2 strong. But spend time, even virtually, with your family as much as you can. Do what makes you happy. Do what keeps you relaxed. Take it easy.
Yeah, so the Voice Podcast, we're going to be taking a break like everyone for the Christmas holidays, and we will see you all in the new year. Make sure to follow our social media on Voice Podcast on Instagram. We are on a bunch, like practically any podcast app, we are on there. And YouTube, so you can see our faces because that's fun. So we'll catch everyone in the new year.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Happy holidays.